നമസ്കാരം. ഇന്ന് നമ്മൾ ലേബർ കോഡ്സിനെ കുറിച്ച് സംസാരിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി നമ്മുടെ കൂടെ ഉള്ളത് റീജിയണൽ ലേബർ കമ്മീഷണർ സെൻട്രൽ മിസ്റ്റർ രോഹിത് മനി തിവാരിയാണ്. He was in the drafting committee of wages code and IR code 2020. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് നല്ലൊരു അതിഥിയാണ് കിട്ടിയിട്ടുള്ളത്. He can explain any doubt whoever has it. We have some doubt and we will try to clarify with him. Welcome sir. As you all know that I am Ilango, Dr. Ilango, working in SFS as General Manager HRD and National Institute of Personnel Management, Southern Regional Vice President. Let me ask question on behalf of you all. So my first question is, welcome sir. My first question is, why labor reforms were thought that urgent and why such a hurry in implementing labor codes?
Yes. First of all, thank you all, Ellarikam Namaskaram, for inviting me and having this talk. And it is a very relevant that we have organized this talk because lot of labor codes are implemented and a lot of doubts, confusions are taking place. So the first question that you ask is itself a very very frequently asked question from all the sides, from the sides of employer and trade union. So yes, if I come back to your question, see, it is nothing has happened overnight or nothing has happened just in hurry. If you go through the history of labor reforms, you will find that in 1960s, first Labor Commission told that there is a need for this labor reforms. Then in 2002, second Labor Commission came. It said that we should have a reform. Now in 2014, a new government came and it has is a political will to undertake this labor reforms. So our Prime Minister announced from this Red Fort in July 2014, if I am not mistaken, that we should have a labor reform. And now you can see 10 years have passed. We are deliberating, discussing, and after finalizing everything, we have introduced this reform. So it is not hurry, it is very planned, systematic, and with an object.
Okay, thank you. Further, if I ask that new labor codes is made, how is it impacting society, employers and employees? Can you kindly let me know?
Yes, see, I am a labor officer under central government, and if you see that personally we feel that at central level there are more than 40 labor laws, and as you know, labor laws is a subject where state and central both can make a law. So you can now guess how many labor laws are there at state level. So first of all, it was realized that there are too many labor laws, that is causing confusion.
29 labor laws.
Yes, and so if you go through that, then we had this belief that we should rationalize them, we should make them non-repetitive and simplify them. So with all these simplification and amalgamation, what we can do that we will have a ease of compliance. Otherwise, if you go through, for example, I can give you some example. For example, under Contract Labor Act, it says that if contractor is paying to the worker, the principal employer should be there to verify. Now we are seeing that the digital time has come, all payments are being done online. So what is the need of principal employer representative to be there and witness the process? So these things are now deleted from the new labor code. So all those elements that were of past has been eliminated, that were redundant, and only those who are relevant to the modern times are included.
Okay. ഇതിൻ്റെ സബ്ജക്റ്റിലോട്ട് വരുവാണെങ്കിൽ ഈ ലേബർ കോഡ്സ് ആർ പ്രോ എംപ്ലോയി ആർ പ്രോ എംപ്ലോയർ, ഒരു വലിയ ഡൗട്ട് ടോട്ടൽ മാർക്കറ്റിലുണ്ട്. എവരിബഡി ആർ ഹാവിങ് കൺഫ്യൂഷൻ. കൈൻഡ്ലി ക്ലിയർ us.
See, labor code is not a pro employer. First of all, we should see, because now if you can see lot of provisions are there that are facilitating employees' employment. First time in the history, a mandatory appointment letter has been made
Yeah.
a provision.
Okay.
Okay, women's employment in night shift has been allowed. Delhi High Court in long back said it is unconstitutional to stop women working in a night shift. So you can see lot of provisions.
No, that is right, but at the same time, if you see a lady working in night shift may not be well secured, or else the entrepreneur or employer has to spend or invest more to ensure that her safety at the workplace and all.
See, safety and security of a woman or per se and citizen at all is a law and order problem. So if there is a some law and order situation is not right, it can be improved only from the law and order side. You cannot ever make a woman a cost for this. For example, let me tell you from my nationwide experience. I worked in Bihar and I am working in Kerala. We understand how the law and order situation differ from Bihar to Kerala. So, and for that matter, for any regional differences are there in law and order situation. So, if a particular state has a not very up to date or tight labor law situation, or sorry, law and order situation, why should women across the country should suffer for that? So, if you ban women employment in night shift because there is a law and order problem, the analogy can be that you are throwing the baby outside with the bath water. So, you cannot throw the baby with the bath water. You have this law and order has to update itself with the requirement of labor laws rather than other way around.
Perhaps on the IT area, ensuring that ladies or women employees are being kept at night shifts is easy. But in a conventional area like industries or factories, if a lady is being deployed over there, you have to let us know that how law and order will come, but not entrepreneur or employer is not affected.
See, half of our population is women, and in working age population, women are more than male. If we set aside women in unskilled and manual category from employment in working in night shift, we will never able to achieve gender justice. We cannot only restrict ourselves to the IT sector or particular glamorous sectors, I would call. If we want our country to be Viksit Bharat, then all forces of economic production, all the citizens has to participate, and women play a very crucial role into this. So, our aim is not to nurture a particular industry, that it is only for women employment. The idea is to universalize women employment opportunities across all industries.
Very right. Nowadays, union are blaming that they are not being consulted while this framing of labor codes, and they really feel hesitated to approach even the labor codes on a right mode.
See, I was in ministry when these codes were developed, and if I tell you from my personal example, during that period, all the objections and deliberations that we did, we took everyone's objection, everyone's feedback, input, and we evaluated. And after evaluating everything, we decided to which part is relevant and which part is only for the sake of it. So, no valid, relevant or important points were ever sidelined. They all accommodated into this, and our honorable minister held frequent meetings with all the stakeholders, and after collecting everyone's viewpoint, we have come to this labor code in its final shape.
Okay. In continuing to that, the new labor code emphasizes fixed term employees or fixed term contract. So, in that area, what the lacuna we see is fixed term employee after completing of 12 months, he or she is eligible for a gratuity. But a regular employee whom we have hired on a regular basis, even after completing of 4 years, that particular person is deprived of gratuity, is my personal feeling. Can you kindly explain, please?
Yes. See, the fixed term employment, the reason behind introducing this scheme is to achieve two aims. First aim is to provide flexibility for medium small enterprises to hire manpower for to meet a particular business exigencies. We are living in the times when the every establishment or business is a part of global supply chain. In such, your demands are sometime high, sometime low. So, in such, allowing employer to hire for a particular need and to carry the manpower for all the time is not fair. So, it was this fixed term employment is supposed to be a flexibility scheme for the employer. The second part is that is very important for many states that have a surplus labor, that we see employers are hiring these workers without giving them any appointment letter or anything, any secured benefits or rights. Fixed term employment mandates employer that if you are hiring a particular manpower for a particular day, for a particular work, you have to assure him all the labor rights, all the appointment letters, all the benefits and entitlements. Now, see, when a fixed term employee come, he knows that his period is very short. So, labor law wants to compensate that short period for additional remuneration or additional benefit to the fixed term employee. In that view, the fixed term employee grant additional remuneration to the fixed term employees in terms of wages after 1 year. Regular employees are there for longer period of service. So, they are already having access to benefits that are not available to the fixed term employees. So, keeping that thing in mind, fixed term employees has given an additional mileage over the regular employees.
But labor code thought of a regular employee also. I have come across UAE labor acts and all. There after 1 year they get gratuity, and after 3 years the gratuity amount varies. After 5 years again full month salary it goes. So, in case if it is pro employee, Indian government of India would have also thought in that way. It would have supported more on regular employees too.
See, first of all, Government of India do not say that every employment should be fixed term employment. We have to be very clear. Fixed term employment are supposed to be only exigency or necessity based. Secondly, regular employees are we have to get out of this mind that fixed term employee has come and he will go.
Okay.
For example, in Trivandrum itself, you go and find a company called Air India Engineering Services Limited. It is hiring lot of fixed term employees in terms of aircraft engineers, and they are there for 7 years, 7 and 8 years.
Okay.
And they are not accessing to the gratuity. They are saying that we will keep working under this scheme as long as it is possible, and they are working like a regular and permanent employees. So, we have to understand that employer once hire also find these manpower very necessary. And see, every employee is an institutional memory. Like in the studio we are sitting, there are lot of employees who are working for long, and they are carrying this business, this institution's memory. So, suddenly if we say that you go out, or we ask some individual to go out, we are basically throwing away all the institutional memory. Employer do not want this. Employer want that his manpower, as long as it is performing, it is beneficial, and it is contributing to the national growth and establishment growth, he will be there. So, this whole segregation, this whole difference that fixed term employees for this month or permanent employees forever is not like that. In my tenure over the decade, I have found that I have seen that even the banks, national banks, will terminate the employees within 6 months or 8 months because they are found into an activity not permitted under the establishment. So, we have to get out of this mindset that fixed term employment is anywhere trying to adversely affect the labor rights of an individual.
So, we should conclude in that area as fixed term employment is being introduced in labor code for the purpose of positivity of
and
employment.
I would like to add one more thing. If we go to study our smaller neighbor in southern ocean, Sri Lanka do not have Sri Lanka also employ fixed term employee, but you know they do not give gratuity after 1 year. I think they take 5 years to give the gratuity.
It's a very positive thing that
so
after
Indian
1
government
year it
has gone extra mile, and there is an ILO study that recently conducted, it found that fixed term employment scheme is on rise across European Union.
Okay.
So, and all UN system employments are contract based. So, we are not doing anything that is new, we are just taking best practice from across the world.
Okay. If I come to ESI area, ESI is being defined as employer service insurance. In that 21,000 rupees was kept as ceiling. Now also it is 21,000 rupees. But there initially it was stated that the salary means or wages means everything inclusive of all allowances. Basic, DA, every allowances are being included, and the total sum is being accounted. In case if we crosses 21,000 rupees, that particular person will not be eligible in that. Now, the new labor code says that wages in a common area, basic plus DA plus retaining allowance, BDR, rest all are kept as exclusive or excluded amount. In such a case, many persons will get included in the ESI 1. Persons may be getting benefited, but practically if you see that ESI many are not getting rightly the benefits. So, employer is made to more investment or his incurrence and the things goes on a higher side.
See, you have raised a very beautiful point, and this point is that when we say that people are say that labor codes are pro employer and pro employee, that is also a very good question that point in that regard. See, the code has very clearly mentioned that wages shall be of two parts. One is basic plus DA plus retaining, rest is all the allowances. What we used to see in the past, that employers, not all the employers, some of the employer with a wrong intention would keep the basic and DA very less, so that they have to pay gratuity, PF contribution and all that very low in amount. Now, the code has tried to correct this injustice. Now, the code says that if your allowances are more than 50% of basic plus DA plus retaining allowance, it will be the part of the basic plus DA plus A. So, we can say there is a part A of the salary, basic plus DA plus retaining allowance, and second is a part B where is the all the allowances. So, if your allowances is going more than 50%, so it will be part of basic plus DA, and 21,000 rupees will be calculated on this calculation only. So, and see, we have to understand this thing that we will talk later on this subject, that if employer, because we are coming from a background that is Kerala, where collective bargaining is very strong, and in my office I have seen that trade union members with their able leadership and very expert bargaining techniques, they always take a west slip more than 21,000. So, in that case, lot of the employers choose to give you a mediclaim thing.
Yeah.
So, we have to understand right now the whole entitlement to be covered under ESIC has been only the part A of the salary, not the part B. That is a very positive development.
Again, I will come back to trade unions. As you said that trade unions are being given everything, but what trade unions claim is they have not been consulted. One. Second, their tooths are being removed. They lost their bargaining power, because initially for any strike and all means shutting down, 100 employees are sufficient. Now 300 employees are required to go to labor department, or else entrepreneur can himself do any activity lesser than 300 now. In that, how trade union can play positively?
Very nice. I think in this regard, I think if anyone says that the power of trade union is curtailed, I have a very different view. I have a 180-degree different view, because as I am also a student of labor law and I keep studying of the international practices and everything.
Good.
So, based on my experience, I will tell you, I find on the contrary the power of trade unions has been enhanced.
Oh.
This is my view and I am going to tell you why. See, first time under the labor law of India, there is a central legislation that is granting the power of to trade union to be recognized by the employer. This is first time. You have only 2 states where before this labor code, only 2 states have the legislation. One was Maharashtra, second was Kerala. Kerala has in 2010 has a legislation that said recognition of trade union. Apart from these 2 states, there were no states that granting them a recognition for collective bargaining. So, first time try to understand the code is giving them a power to negotiate officially under the law with the employer, and any employer who refuse to recognize union based on membership or do not negotiate with the unions will be doing unfair labor practice. So, first time at the plant, at the industry level, the trade unions are being recognized. Secondly, we will come back to the strike. See, we are living in a time, as I told you earlier, when all the units are part of global supply chain. So, if in Tamil Nadu a Foxconn company employees suddenly go on strikes, you see that the whole Apple assembly line machinery is disturbed. Or for example, I tell you a very interesting case that happened in Air India strike, cabin crew strike. A lady whose husband was from Kerala, whose husband was in Gulf, was scheduled to go angioplasty operation, and she was
stranded in
she was
airport.
supposed to board flight from, I think, from Delhi to that state, but because of this strike she could not go. And when she could not go, when surgery could not and that letter could not materialized and failed,
he lost his life.
Lost his life. Then that lady became
very
completely
violent.
helpless, and we were all witness that sorrow in my office. So, a strike supposed to happen in Delhi has impacted the life across the states. So, what our code says that in any industry you cannot go strike without prior notice. At least give employer and labor authorities a chance to redress your grievance before you suddenly go on strike without notice. And this requirement of prior notice is under ILO. So, even ILO do not say that you should go strike without notice. So, you see lot of provisions has been internationalized under what has already been championed by ILO. So, all these provisions are in a way helping union rather than the contrary that is being the narrative.
One more typical question what I wanted to ask you is, an establishment which has branches in different states. For example, SFS is having a branch in Chennai and Hyderabad and Jabalpur even. Then we means the new labor code says that one registration, one license, one thing, everything you can, ease of business. But in Kerala, we come under Kerala Shops and Establishment Act. Even they collect cess. And if I go to Tamil Nadu, they also try to collect cess. So, despite your single license, single registration, ease of business, we come across means these all disturbances. Are we under each state in these cases, or straight away under common pool of central legislation?
Yes, Now see, the government has under the code has brought out a legal requirement that, for example, an Asianet, it has a several subsidiary and having an operation across the state, and when you have an operation across the state, you are going to hire manpower, and for that you need a labor license. Now first what used to happen that you have to go to every labor office and find the license, and then the inspection will take place in that office, and then you have to furnish your returns and records, same returns and records across the states. So this requirement has been now done away with. If your head office is in the state, in a particular state, you can have a labor license, all India labor license in that state itself, rather than you are opening local offices and your local offices are going to acquire labor licenses. So for the same operation, you see you have multiple labor licenses, that has been done away. One beautiful thing has come is OSH registration. Now the code says that establishment or a business will be registered once, and they will be given a registration number, and that registration number shall be valid for all the labor returns and registers and compliances. You do not have to go and register yourself under the separate labor acts.
Okay. One more question in this regard itself I will ask is, see, our headquarters, our head office is in Trivandrum. We have different branches in different states, including either Bihar or Jabalpur or anywhere. So when we account for minimum wages, which minimum wages? Since I am going to release salary, everything from my head office. So which minimum wages? For Jabalpur guy also I should take Trivandrum minimum wages, or Chennai minimum wages? Which minimum wages has to be taken?
Yes, this is a very nice question, and you know it explains lot of things. It explains also that why Kerala has turning out to be a major hub for attracting laborers across the countries, because Kerala no doubt has a higher minimum wage rate in all the categories, and that is why people keep coming to work here. Now see, under our new code, that is called Code on Wages, the government has a 3 layer of minimum wages. First is, if your establishment is under central government, you have to give a central labor wage. If your state, your establishment or your business is under state government, you have to pay the state minimum wage. But government has also come out with a notion, with a idea called national floor level wage. For example, I tell you, in Odisha you have a security deposit of 100 rupees for migrant workers. If you employ a migrant workers, you have to give 100 rupees. But if in Kerala, it is 2400 security deposit. So obviously, the labor from Odisha to will prefer to come to work in Kerala. Now see, the government has to think of the overall landscape. It is distorting the market, and it is also fueling labor migration corridor that is causing lot of regional imbalance. So in that view, the government has said that we will bring a national floor level wage, where no state can fix their minimum wage below that national floor level wage. So if you have a branch in Jabalpur, you have to follow a minimum wage rate that of MP, but MP cannot set a minimum wage rate that is below the national floor level wage.
Right. This area is clear. But however, I read in newspaper very recently, around 4 days back, that Kerala is not getting their migrant workers back. We used to even call us Aditi Todiladi. That means we keep them as a guest workers.
You have also a portal to register all these.
In the registration, I feel that you in the central labor code, it is asking us to register every migrant labor. So many are hiding from that, or they are not coming. We are not getting now right laborers.
See whether Kerala is able to attract the laborers or not. It is a question of research that we would like to take. But as far as my experience goes in running Central Labour Office, I find that Kerala will be coming in the top 3 destination for the migrant workers to come. And one thing we can explain that like I told you that I have also worked in other regions also. In Kerala, you have assured minimum wage rate, no wage theft, because in other parts of country I worked, I found that wage theft is rampant. In Kerala, it is not there. Third is no violence at workplace.
Okay.
This is a very beautiful thing that I have experienced in Kerala. Even the construction workers who are working, when you go on highways, on roads or hospital sites that are under construction, I have found from other part of the country that there used to be cases of violence at the workplace, but in Kerala it is completely missing. So, all these 3 destination makes Kerala a very welcome destination for the workers, and lot of workers come to me and tell me, sir, Kerala is Dubai for us. So that is also one nickname for Kerala.
Thanks a lot for having a better observation about Kerala. We thank you. Now I could see that in EPF and ESI, the old EPF 1952 and ESI 1948, even Child Labour Act 1986 were not yet repealed. So that also stands good.
Yes, that stands good. And PF Act, see, we have to understand that PF Act is not only about PF contribution. It also provides that how the PF fund will be managed, the whole bureaucracy, whole hierarchy that manage the fund. So, PF Act has its utility. Child Labour Act is not subsumed under any code. So, those acts who are neither repealed nor subsumed are in existence. For example, Shops and Establishment Act, they are also not repealed or subsumed. So, they study, because the Labour Secretary of Kerala asked me a few days back that this is a very important question, that as we are a smaller state, we have an enterprise that is employing less than 10 labours, and OSH code only covers those establishment that is employing more than 10 labours. So, he was asking us that what will happen to us when we are employing less than 10 labours, how we are going to guide them, how we are going to regulate them. So, after the clarification, I found that Shops and Establishment Act has not been repealed, and it continues to apply over those establishments that are not covered under OSH code, if they are making such numerical workers presence.
So, it is not overloading us, it is actually the Labour Code says that ease of business. However, many acts were not repealed. See, that means they can catch from that angle also.
I would like to clarify this thing, that any law has to understand from the object of the act. If you go and read the statement, purpose of a statement of the code, it talks about 3 things: simplification, rationalization and amalgamation. Ease of doing thing is a media hyped word. Okay. So, you can come up with all the work, but our legal technical language is, we are trying to simplify things, we are trying to rationalize things, and we are trying to collect all the laws that are of the same nature under one code. So, ease of doing is there, but labor justice is also there. We should also appreciate that those acts that, like child labor, those acts that are going to the direct to the societal needs, we are maintaining them.
When I come to gig worker and platform workers, it has been stated that the aggregator has to pay 1% or 2% of the total turnover to a central pool for maintaining them. How these fund will be again looking after these gig workers, and how this fund is going to help gig workers and platform workers?
Very nice question. See, the code says that just like building and construction workers who gives their cess, and you have a building and construction board who will take care of their all the needs, maternity, this sickness, this everything, the code also advises that there will be a fund for the gig workers. So, all the 2% cess shall be going to that social security fund that will be used for the welfare and pensionary needs of the gig worker. Modalities of how it is going to be add is will be coming up next, but right now the idea is to create a corpus, to create a fund where we are going to cater to the various needs of the gig workers entire their career cycle.
Okay. If you would have noticed very rightly, the Act has come to existence in 2020 itself, or 25 they have made it, but in Kerala the rules are not been formed. In such a case, that how are we going to be rather doing the work, whether will we be affected by central rule, or we have to wait till Kerala rules get notified?
See, the codes has been implemented. Last month the rules are notified,
and it is central rules.
The central rules are notified and their codes are implemented. Now, if I think if Kerala government do not implement their central their IR code or code rules, it will become a very tricky situation. In that the matter will be decided on the legislative and judicial level rather than at our administrative level.
Okay. How many states have implemented through their own rules?
See, when I was working in ministry and we were to prepare these draft rules, the wonderful story is that we took Kerala, Tamil Nadu model rules, state rules to take as a model rules, especially for the plantation sector. But till now, the whatever you ask that the Kerala has not implemented, it is the future will tell, but most of the states, barring one or two, has already not only prepared but published their rules also.
How the code is empowering employees, whether workers or non-workers, to apply for payment of outstanding wages?
See, first time the code also gives those employees who are not workers a power to approach authority for their wages. If any wages are outstanding, the employee, all the employee, not only blue collar worker, even the white collar employees can approach the labor authorities for their outstanding wages. IR code also have a term called employee, and employees are given a power to make a complaint. First there was nothing. So, in this light I am going to say that the code has given extensive power to all the employees to take recourse to the labor laws depending upon their entitlement.
Here again, in a reskilling, 15% are being kept by another employer for perhaps what I noticed is our company, we reskill our own employees, but why 15% has to be separately allocated and shown to government and all?
Yes, 15 days salary has to be additionally paid for the workers who are retrenched.
Okay.
See, try to understand, the moment it has been, this judgment has been passed in 1950s and 60s, when the very learned judge Krishna Swami Iyer said that the moment an employer terminates an employee without notice, he leaves them to swim into uncertain waters. So, the moment, no matter how much you spend on skilling or training or development on your employee, the moment you terminate, he is without employment, he has to go and search for another employment, and termination itself carries a stigma, and he has a family to look after or she has a family to look after. So, to compensate all this 15 days additional retrenchment compensation mechanism has been introduced under the code. And please appreciate this, that we are living in a time where artificial intelligence, automation and digital transformation of the work is taking place very widely and very deeply. I see, for example, in past the people will tell me that if you have to lay down a 1 kilometer road, highway, you need 50 to 60 manpower with manual labor. Now so much machinery is there,
Only 3 to 4 hours.
3 to 4 people are operating. And I will tell you one example of Kollam development, this Kollam railway station's redevelopment, and the company that is redeveloping. What is happening when their machinery, some machinery came, these head load workers went and they wanted to do the manual head loading of all the instrument to transport. So the contractor simply said that all these machinery cannot be head loaded by the manual operators, they are machine based.
Okay.
So machine will carry them, machine will fix them, there is no human intervention. So try to understand, we are living in a time when the technology is reshaping the way we think, and in that light the code helps worker with a very paltry amount, that is 15 days salary. I do not think it is too much to ask for in the favor of labor justice.
What are the additional things an employee can expect from Government of India, leaving the code on wages or code on labor codes, all the 4 labor codes, if we leave it, in case if for example many NRIs who are from Dubai or UAE, they are trying to repatriate to Kerala. So in which manner Government of India can support them through these policies?
See, Government of India has already lot of projects running in Kerala. See, and I think that and I personally feel that lot of Kerala people who are settled outside or doing business or working there for long, they have all carry wish without fail to come back and start their own thing in Kerala or do something in Kerala. And but we have to understand this thing that Kerala is also a very sensitive state in terms of environment. So a very senseless industrialization can also not help it in a long run. So all the industrial activity that has to be taken here has to be mindful of our very special nature of Kerala, and Government of India is keeping that in view, and with that view they are investing at a suitable places. And I think in my opinion Kerala is one of the top state that is attracting a very major investment, especially in central sphere.
Since why you always quote Kerala is better, Kerala union power is stronger. So now as per the new code, unions are feeling that they are not being given the right share of them to actually bargain or collective bargain or get their share, by which the employer also feels that other way around, employee, unless employee is happier, the employing the industry is going to be not that bloom.
I think I do not know what the trade union of Kerala is saying on the TV camera, but when it come to my office, they have a very small grievance about this or that part of the labor code. Otherwise, generally last 4 or 5 months back, we wanted to conduct a survey on the trade unions or stakeholders opinion on the labor code, and we contacted lot of trade unions that are supposed to be very critical of these codes, but they told me that they have not overly they criticize the code, but some element of it they need improvement. And the tragedy is that existing industrial labor laws were also not very much favored, and now we have a new labor code, it is also not a favored. That is also a good thing, because that is how law evolve.
Okay, correct.
When we had a constitution, we thought we study from all the world, but still now there is a 120 or 124 amendments. So in the same way also labor code will keep growing, and in my opinion trade union will play a very important role in giving it a shape, organic shape.
Can you kindly explain about skill based allowances, something?
Yes, skill, see this is a very important thing. If you see in minimum wage chapter under a code of wages, there are several factors has been taken. This is hard posting allowances, humidity, hazardous nature, and this skill based allowances they are saying. we have come in a time where lot of skills that are required especially are not being appreciated. For example, if you go to the airport TRV, then you have all these must lights.
Correct.
And you know, the must light at the airport of say Lucknow is different from the must light at the Trivandrum, because it is a coastal area and it leads to lot of erosion that a continental part will not do. Okay. So for that, for the maintenance of that must light, you require a special skill that understand what leads to more corrosive effect. So those who understand that and they are separate from their own people, the employer is given a right to give them additional allowances that we are going to call skill based allowances.
Thank you. But during our conversation we could see that Government of India is thinking some angle, and the employees or the union are thinking somewhere in a different angle. Is Government of India trying to impart right knowledge to all the employers and employee, by which we all get synchronized about the law and labor codes?
Yes, see, a lot of I would say misinformation has been created across several channels or of information, print media or audio video media or several other. Government is continuously trying. I am part of that initiative also to be here, that we are trying to outreach to the each stakeholder, the employer, the trade union, the workers, to tell them the real story, what is the real message of the labor code, rather than just believing on hear and say. So government, since the day our Prime Minister announced that there will be going to be a new labor code, the entire labor machinery is after disseminating the information, the input, taking input and recommendations and trying to imbibe them and educate all stakeholders what are the correct standing of these provisions.
Thanking you, sir. Would you like to tell anything else which I have not covered it?
Yes, I would like to sum up the whole thing, that there is a famous saying that no one can stop the idea that time has come. And we can see that India is already marching on, and even in such turbulent times you can see that our foundations are very strong and we are moving ahead, and these labor codes are in requirement for these changing times. We are a country that having the highest number of young population on the earth, and our young population is continuously learning new skills, new technologies, and they are very mobile. Even when we talk about the states like Kerala, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, people are not only restricting themselves to the domestic frontiers, they are going to each corner of the earth to learn skills, to have a better livelihood and to make their future happen. The labor codes keep entire thing into the mind and try to give a new framework to the nation that suits the aspirations and ambitions of its citizens.
Thanks a lot, sir. You have given clear and nice messages, and whatever ambiguity and lacuna we were thinking in our mind, you could clarify it, by which we could now understand that Government of India is really thinking in a positive direction to ensure that India is developing, Indian economy is improving. Thank you. Being a regional labor commissioner, you could give more inputs us, and in case if you have any clarity or you want to clarify, kindly contact the channel. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.